The history of Qatar and what brings the World Cup there this year. Qatar, although a tiny Arab nation, is known as one of the richest countries in the world. In fact, it has been named as the fourth richest country in the world and the second best Arab country to live and work in, behind the UAE. After November 20th, Qatar would go down in the history books as the first Arab country to ever host the FIFA World Cup, defeating bids from the US, South Korea, Australia and even Japan. However, you must have heard several controversies when they won the ballot to host the tournament in 2022. You've probably heard about Qatar bribing its way into this position. Is it really true? I mean, how did this tiny country manage to pull off one of the most controversial coups in football history? And what makes Qatar so desirable that it's ranked high as a good place to live and work? In this video, we'll be looking at the reasons why people might be attracted to Qatar and the controversies surrounding how the country claimed the right to host the 2022 World Cup. Qatar is a small country in Western Asia. It has less than 12,000 square kilometers of space, making it one of the smallest sovereign cities in the world. Its capital city is Doha, and it houses over 80% of the country's population. Interestingly, only 12% of the country's population are Qataris. A lot of foreigners and tourists take up a larger percentage of the population. In Qatar, we have men dominating the population by outnumbering women 3-1. This Islamic country is an income giant, with the fourth highest GDP per capita in the entire world, all thanks to its large exports of liquefied natural gas. Qatar has been practicing monarchy since it was founded in 1850, with Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani as the emir, and his bloodline has been in power since the country's inception. While FIFA might have its political dealings, they prefer a monarchical or oligarchical or even dictatorial system of government, where decision-making is faster than a democratic system that follows due process and longer time to function effectively. In April 2022, FIFA Secretary Jerome Valk disclosed his preference for countries like Qatar and Russia. "I will say something which is crazy, but less democracy is sometimes better for organising the World Cup," he revealed in a report by the BBC. As trivial as this might seem, we believe that it might have, among other things, influenced their decision in one way or another. Money is a weapon, and Qatar is loaded with it. Maybe it helped them to achieve this feat. And speaking of money, it's a celebrated fact that Qatar is a super rich country. And as the popular rumour suggests, Qatar might have just bribed its way to FIFA 2022. After winning the ballots in 2010, Qatar was accused of paying FIFA officials $3.7 million to secure their spot. But after a 2-year investigation, with no evidence being discovered to back up this claim, the case was called off. We don't know the exact amount Qatar spent on their 2022 World Cup bid, but The Guardian gave an estimate of about $200 million spent on public funds. So for comparison, Australia spent $42.7 million on its bid, England committed $24 million to the process, and the US spent less than $5 million. So considering how much Qatar invested in the FIFA 2022 World Cup, the executive committee members may have interpreted it that the event means a whole lot to them. Well, this might just be another possibility, but one thing is sure, Qatar's wealth was a huge influence in one way or another in the 2022 World Cup biddings. Even in 2010, some months before the ballots were cast to determine the World Cup hosts, the Confederation of African Football had to hold a general meeting in Libya, but they didn't have enough money to fund the event. So Qatar single-handedly sponsored the event, and in return they were permitted to present their World Cup bid to the delegates with a vote on FIFA's executive committee. And when it was time to vote on the World Cup hosts, a lot of Africans were likely to throw in votes for Qatar for this single act of goodwill. Another thing that might have influenced the process was when Mohammed bin Hammam, a Qatari, was set to run an election campaign for FIFA president against Sepp Blatter, who was president of the association in July 2011. Fast forward to August, when the campaigns were getting tighter, Hammam did what no one would have anticipated. He pulled out of the competition. The reason was that he didn't want to go against Sepp Blatter because he was his good friend. He would rather be voting for him to remain in office for this new mandate. While quitting what might have just been his closest shot to the biggest job in the world of football might seem foolish, but it pulled the right strings, and it's only likely that Blatter might have repaid Hammam's kind gesture by advocating that the World Cup should be hosted in Qatar. When Qatar smashed the competition months later, a lot of contentions came to the air. First was the bribery case that took 2 years of investigation to be cleared, and another was the issue of gay rights. Qatar, as an Islamic country under Islamic Sharia laws, shuns homosexual acts and maintains strict policies that keep it far from legal. The punishment for defaults ranges from fines, prison sentences of up to 7 years, and even death. Qatar's World Cup organisers reassure the public that everyone is welcome to visit the country for the football competition and that no one will be discriminated against. However, quite interestingly, Qatar's 2022 chief executive said that the government will not change its laws on homosexuality and has asked that visitors respect their culture. In Qatar, any public display of affection between couples, whether gay or straight, is frowned upon, the chief executive reported. Though the government has denied all allegations about the arrest or detention of people who are protesting for gay rights, Human Rights Watch recently released a video claiming that Qatar's security forces are still arresting citizens who are gay, lesbian or transgender, and sometimes force them to undergo conversion therapy. The Australian football squad has as well released a video urging Qatar to relinquish its laws against same-sex relationships. Denmark football players also said that they would wear an all-black kit to protest against Qatar's human rights laws. In the video, released by the Australian football team, they blame Qatar for poor treatment of the employees who've been building the facilities for the World Cup. They claim that many workers have lost their lives, and others were severely injured as a result of poor safety measures on the building sites. England and 9 other European teams have joined the protest against Qatar's anti-homosexuality laws by deciding that their captains would wear the One Love armbands. Paris and some other French cities are joining the fight by deciding that they won't screen the World Cup matches in public areas, despite France being the defending champions. The government still remains unmoved amidst all these, denying all claims, even when British LGBT rights campaigner Peter Tatchell says that he was arrested and detained on the curbside while protesting in Qatar's capital city, Doha. But it might interest you to know that despite all these challenges, the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar might just be the most watched in the history of the competition, according to FIFA President Gianni Infantino. The competition is projected to be watched by an estimated 5 billion people worldwide. Why? A good guess would be that it's the greatest football competition. Another might just be that Qatar is a fascinating place to be. While Qatar might have its shortcomings with its anti-homosexuality laws, the scenery in the country is simply breathtaking. With people moving into the country in droves, it's not just to watch the World Cup finals, but a lot of people are considering making a permanent move into this gold nation. Unlike many countries that are just as developed, Qatar does not place any tax on personal per capita income. This means that workers get to take home their salaries without any tax deductions, and companies and businesses are required to pay only 10% of tax. For comparison, the average rate of corporation tax for businesses and enterprises in the UK is screaming 19%. In 2021, Qatar was named the 3rd safest country in the world by Global Finance magazine. Peace and safety are also one of the biggest reasons why many foreign workers and families prefer working and living in Qatar. As a matter of fact, Qatar has been named so many times as one of the countries with the lowest crime rates in the entire world. Forgot to lock your car doors? It's no problem in Qatar, as you come back to see everything intact. The level of security is just out of this world. Another interesting thing about Qatar is that it houses some of the best universities in the world. The Qatar University ranks high among the 350 top universities worldwide, with the Qatar Foundation providing all kinds of scholarships and financial aid to well-deserving students. The healthcare sector is just as amazing as well. At cheap prices, you get access to quality healthcare. Talk about the meals in Qatar. You could walk into any food court and try at least 10 different cuisines from different parts of the world. While we don't know how the Qatar government would handle these protests against their anti-homosexuality laws in the World Cup, they promise an interesting and non-discriminating World Cup tournament. Now, it's your turn. What do you think about these anti-homosexuality laws? Have you ever lived in Qatar? How's life over there? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and while you're at it, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And I'll be honoured if you hit subscribe for more top, insightful videos just like this. Thanks for watching.